Blaster Master. A hard game, but a fun one. Let's talk Ninja. Ninja Gaiden is probably a candidate for best trilogy on the NES. I mean, Tecmo gave us a game that had fast-paced action and incredible cutscenes that NES gamers had never seen before. I recall when the second Ninja Gaiden came out. Nintendo Power subscribers got a special strategy guide that showed all the level layouts. They even showed the cutscenes done in comic-style layout. That was pretty cool if you were stuck and couldn't get past a certain act. The only bad thing was that it only showed up to the end of Act 5's cutscene, so you never were able to see the actual ending if you could not beat the game. What truly added to the game's 8-bit beauty was the storyline and incredible cutscenes. The storyline was always shrouded in mystery and left you begging for more. In the first Ninja Gaiden, the story revolved around Ryu's missing father, Ken, and two demon statues. After the disappearance of Ryu's father, his fate sent him to America to track down an archaeologist named Walter Smith. It turns out that Walter and Ken were hiding two demon statues so they would not fall into the wrong hands. As the story progresses, Ryu loses the statues to the enemy. In Ninja Gaiden 2, Ryu learns of a new threat called Ashtar, and is on a quest to destroy the Dark Sword of Chaos. The storyline is similar to the Ninja Gaiden for Xbox. I am sure this is where they got the main idea for the story. It speaks of a dragon sword and a dark sword. Ryu must use the dragon sword to defeat the possessor of the dark sword. Ninja Gaiden for the Xbox was another masterpiece. It is a favorite of mine and is in my top 10 list of epic games. I won't go into detail on that right now so I can stay focused on the trilogy for NES. The third Ninja Gaiden shifts gears and focuses more on the CIA agent Foster and his plot to take over the world using the ancient ship of Doom. Foster ties into the storyline from the very first Ninja Gaiden. We were led to believe that Foster was helping Ryu, but at the very end of the game, Foster ends up wanting Ryu eliminated. Now, if you were used to playing Mega Man 2 or Castlevania, you could probably adapt somewhat easily to Ninja Gaiden's gameplay. But if you never touched those games before, then you were in for a real surprise. The game required lightning-fast reflexes and perfectly timed jumps. Learning how to flip back and forth between walls was an essential to your survival and progression of the game. In addition to the wall latching technique, it was important that you collect any items that you see along the way. They were represented as a lantern or other object in the first game, and in the second and third games they were represented as orbs. You could collect the item by attacking it. The special techniques were incredibly helpful when you came to those insane platform jumps that had enemies throwing knives or shooting at you. One thing I especially liked about the trilogy is that each time a new game came out they introduced a new special ability and even new level physics. The second game gave us the ability to climb walls freely. It also gave us a cloning ability that was incredibly helpful when fighting bosses at the end of each act. The snow level was cool because you had to wait for the perfect moment when the wind was not blowing to make your jump to other ledges. In Ninja Gaiden 3, they added the ability to hang from platforms. You could also collect a sword item that increased the reach of your sword. This was a great feature because it decreased your chance of taking damage from the enemy with extra reach. These improvements were great, but the one that topped them all was the fact that they removed the respawning enemies. In the first and second game, when you killed an enemy and moved slightly backwards and then forwards again, the enemy would be right back in the place where you just killed them. This was very annoying and added to the difficulty of the game. I was glad to see they removed this from the third one. One feature that increased the difficulty of the third one was the fact that they gave you only 5 continues. Once you use all of them, you have to restart from the beginning. They could have really done without this. Why make someone start all the way back at the beginning because you want to base the game retries on continues? That never made any sense to me. It only drove me crazy. Another incredible thing about the trilogy was that they all had great graphics, controls, and the soundtracks were fantastic. In my opinion, this trilogy had some of the greatest music released on the NES. There were so many epic tracks. Ninja Gaiden 2 especially had an amazing track which added to the intensity of the fast-paced gameplay. Listen to the music on the snow level, it's just so epic. They were incredible games for their times, and they're still incredibly fun and challenging to play today. I would love to see them develop another side-scrolling Ninja Gaiden for one of the newer consoles. They have rebooted some of the older classics already with this style, so why not do it with one of the greatest trilogies from the 8-bit era?